Welcome to Coronacast. No, wait, that one's taken, isn't it?
It is. I believe we will be the virus cauldron.
Oh, we throw all the sick people in, we mix them together.
And it will never end in tears.
That's how we got here. We threw all of the live animals in together. We let their fluids mingle.
Nice and moist.
That's my favourite word.
So, if you've been hiding in the bottom of a hole,
Good, stay in that hole.
yeah, coronavirus is out here. It's bad. There's been some funny memes for the 18 plus crowd on how to keep distance with your partner.
Ha ha ha. And they're probably shutting the schools.
Potentially. I've got a family member who is a teacher and will be getting a alert at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Thankfully, this person doesn't have children or places to be and things to do, so that's good.
There's already, I think it's Brisbane Girls Grammar going online.
While you're doing that, I looked up coronavirus just in the Google, and one of the top links is a Queensland Health Alert, novel coronavirus 2019. The World Health Organization announced that COVID-19 is a pandemic, so it is official. To stop the spread of infection, sneeze or cough into your elbow or into a tissue. Tissues are better. Remember to wash your hands with either a bar of soap, antibacterial soap, or with hand sanitizer. If you have baby wipes, that is also helpful because that moisturizes your skin. Remember to moisturize because you are washing your hands a lot at the moment, and don't touch your face.
You know how hard it is?
I
When somebody
know.
says, don't touch your face, and then instantly your entire face explodes and itches, and you're like, mustn't touch face. If
I
I
know.
just touch at my skin, it'll be fine. If I don't stick my finger in my nose or on my mouth. Do you know how much my 6-year-old touches her face? She just wanders around with her hand hanging out of her mouth, pulling her lips and just playing with her junk all over her face, and then touching things, touching.
Yes.
But you know what's good? What's good is I went through the self-service checkout at Woolworths,
Yeah.
and every second one of them is closed. And
Ah.
that is the appropriate amount of space. They should just space those things out naturally like that all the time.
At Central Station, they've had people at the escalators, some kind of sterilising spray in a bottle and a cloth. And they basically just hold the cloth on the handrail and they spray as the automatic handrail goes past. And I guess they move to the next handrail once that one's done a full cycle and then just keep going. And that's kind of cool. But do you know how hard it is to get onto one of those escalators or walk up and down stairs without touching the railing?
Yes.
Particularly if it's something that you normally do if you're unsteady on your feet.
Mm.
I've nearly fallen a couple of times. It's not awesome.
It's good if you can actually get any hand sanitizer, but just it's fine. If you don't have a cut on your hand, you can touch whatever you want.
As long as you don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face, and that is fine. And one of the people I know who lives up and down the street is a medical officer. Yeah, just says, it's fine. You can touch whatever. Just don't touch your face. And 90% of the time, you will be fine. And if somebody coughs on you, sure, then you've got a problem. But droplets don't travel that far. Just stop touching your face.
But the problem with the coronavirus is it's active and infectious for up to 3 days on surfaces.
And that's it. So, yes, we should wipe off surfaces and stuff because, yes, we are going to occasionally touch our face.
At work, we've been asked to wipe our desks down every day when we come in, which is good. They have provided us with wipes of the antibacterial variety, which is excellent, but they've run out. And they've had those wipes on back order since December because for some reason no one wants to fill our ordinary orders. And then now this has happened. It's not great. It's called COVID-19 because the first outbreaks were in the Wuhan province in November, I think it was, 2019.
Yeah, and the government went ahead and hit it a lot. The Chinese government went ahead and hit it a lot.
They did. And that was amazing.
Saving face, more important than anything.
They did hide it, which is horrendous and terrible. But when the figures were leaked by the BBC, I think is when they started going, oh, yeah, there's a problem, and opened up dedicated hospitals and quarantine facilities,
Yeah.
and then were really on top of it. But culturally, you might see in the news people of Asian extraction wear gloves and masks and generally don't touch stuff as much as
But you
people
know
from
what?
Western cultures do.
That is a middle class behavior,
Okay.
not a lower class behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the girls who I know personally,
Mm-hmm.
now, definitely. But from my 2 years living over there before, there's a distinct line, a cultural line based on wealth. And unfortunately, it's just the reality. I also think their numbers are crap.
Oh, definitely. If Australia is anything to go by, they're just not testing enough people to show the numbers, because news sources are trying to tell me that there's no community transmission. However, the news sources are also telling me there isn't widespread testing. There have been people who have tried to get tested because they've got a cough, they've got a temperature, they've got COVID-19 symptoms, which are similar but not the same as the flu or the cold. And the Queensland Health is saying, no, you don't need to be tested because you personally haven't been overseas in the last 14 days.
And you haven't had close contact with a confirmed case.
And you know what? People who have chronic lung infections or bronchial disease are at severe risk for pneumonia with this thing. This thing kills people. There was a meme that I saw on social media saying, if your boss tells you that you have to go to work, even though you are concerned that you may be a carrier for COVID-19, it is your moral responsibility to go and hug them.
Ah, I love it.
I've got friends who have been laid off due to COVID-19. A friend of mine was in her probation period working for a cinema chain, and they went, everyone on probation, bye-bye.
Sucks so much.
Okay, it's an unprecedented thing, but why not say, look, we can't pay you for the next month or whatever. You're not sacked, and you'll be the first people that will roster back on when we, need more people
Yeah.
again.
I mean, realistically, that might actually end up being the case, but perhaps they can't say it in those sorts of words.
Well, no, I mean, if you don't sack someone, that position is not available. If
Yeah.
you sack someone, that position is then available for someone else.
Yeah, but I'm sure in reality, most people, when it comes down to it, are going to get their jobs back. Or maybe not, actually, because
They might
it's going to
not
be a
do.
massive hit to the economy. So, yes, they might not do. And maybe that's why they sacked them, because the cinema's thinking this could go on for years and then people are going to be in a completely different position by that stage.
I've heard that it could take up to 18 months for the economy to recover, and this is definitely going to be a very rough 6 months.
This is probably worse for us directly than the GFC. And because we have the fucktards in power at the minute, we're getting a fraction of what we actually need. And because we can't work out how to give money to rich people, so we're not.
Yeah, the latest I've read on the stimulus package is that it's going to go out to people who are on the job seeker allowance or New Start, disability pension, carers pension, that sort of thing, at the end of April.
What good is that?
I know, it's
Oh my
the
God.
22nd of March 2020. This is not going to be paid until starting the 27th of April.
Oh. Yeah, people are calling, more and more people are calling for a pause to rents. And then from that, a
Definitely.
pause to repayments. New York has suspended all overdraft fees,
Oh,
all
nice.
credit card repayments, all
Yeah.
credit card fees.
Yeah.
All of those are now suspended.
Oh, that's excellent. That's actually useful and helpful.
And I think that they should go further and banks pause all house repayments
Yeah.
for houses less than a certain amount of money, because it's likely that houses less than a certain amount of money will have those people who are just struggling to like pay their home loans.
Or they could base it on income as well.
I don't care. If the home loan repayments and the interest are paused, I don't need to collect rent from the people who live in the house that we own.
That's right. But I am required to go to work on my rostered days at this stage. They are talking, though, as of Friday, they were talking about setting up remote working hubs. So instead of going into town where we work, going to hubs. There's definitely indirect cases in my actual building. Like a friend that I work with, their partner works with someone who's confirmed with COVID-19.
Oh, so yeah.
So my friend's
6 degrees
partner,
of separation, hey?
oh, it's 2 degrees in Brisbane, you know that.
Yeah, yeah.
But because her partner has been in contact with this person who's been tested positive, they've self-quarantined
Yeah.
and so haven't been able to see my friend.
Oh,
And they found out after the last time that they had seen my friend, so it's entirely possible that she's also been exposed. But because it's a potential exposition
yeah.
from someone who's been in contact with someone who's positive,
Can't get a test.
she can't get a test and she's still required to go to work because she is asymptomatic. However,
So shit.
the age demographic of people who are asymptomatic is people who are young children, teenagers, and people up to the age of early 30s. People who
Yeah.
are likely to get symptomatic are about 35 to 55 and will have a range of mild to severe cases in that age demographic. The people who are 55, 60 and over, probably going to die. There's a high mortality rate in that cohort. My nana, bless her, is in a nursing home.
Yep.
And being isolated brings down her mental health. And they had been over this weekend restricted to 20 minutes visits a day.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of my family from nearby to where my nana is, they went and visited her. She had 3 visits over the weekend. But now, as of Monday, there's going to be no.
That sucks. The school that's allowing the students to study online, an exclusive Brisbane private school will let students learn from home as public school reports unexplained student absentee rates of up to 40%.
But it's not unexplained. Yeah.
Anthony McAuliffe said the school would remain open but would allow students to stay at home and follow the curriculum online from next week. So these private schools, they have really solid systems, generally much better than anything that you find in a public school. You know what's hilarious? Not for the other states, but in Queensland at least. It's the first year of the new ATAR system. They're going to get the worst data imaginable. They're not going to know whether this is a good idea or not. They're going to not know if their new system is up and running well. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's special. Because, I mean, this type of emergency planning should have happened or should have been happening for the last, I don't know, so many years. Oh, climate change is getting worse. Let's plan for the worst.
And there's all these new rules that are coming out. I'm looking for it now. I'm looking back through chat history because I'm volunteering for the Greens, except I might not be because who knows if the local elections are going to go ahead.
I've got an email from my branch and they said, in these unprecedented times, our democratic processes have changed drastically, meaning we will not have Greens volunteers at polling booths.
So nobody can volunteer on election day.
See, I don't know why this wasn't a thing before.
Volunteering is good.
Volunteering is good, however, pulling dick moves like what the Liberal Party has done in the past and papered over or torn down other parties' information and put up their "you must vote this way" card, that's not democratic. It's not part of the process.
It's also illegal.
It is illegal, but I don't think any action was taken at the time. Or if there was, it was like, oh, we can't really prove it.
Yeah, we can't really prove it.
Speaking of seeing family, my family on my grandmother's side has a family reunion every year. And we've been a few times as a family, and
Yeah.
it's over the Easter break.
No, it isn't.
I haven't heard anything from the family because it's a big to-do. But yeah, I guess that we're not going. But I
No,
do still want to go on holiday.
it should not happen.
No,
We
it
have
should
been
not.
told no non-essential travel, no interstate trips, no intrastate trips that are far away. No, you go to work, you go home. You go to Woolworths, you go home. You do not travel. You do not visit places. You do not go to the pool. You do not do any of your socials. That's apparently what they want from us. No socials, work, home, Woolworths, home, or Coles, home, or IGA, home. Done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I've got post-apocalyptic life skills. Otherwise, I would be going mental. But I thought that we were still able to go out of our regular community if we were socially distancing. Because
Yeah.
people in my community, they are not able to socially distance. I needed to get out of the checkout to go to a different shop when I
Yeah.
was at the shops yesterday before I came to visit you,
Mm.
and I'm like, okay, you're both of you are taking up the entire space in front of me. Neither of you are big enough put together
Mm.
to take up the entire space in front of me. And I said, "Oh, hi, excuse me, do you mind if I just,
Yeah.
nip out?" And instead of doing what I would do, even under normal circumstances, and move to the end of the aisle and then move back into place,
Yeah.
they just stood there and looked at me. So I shoved past. I'm like, I don't want to be touching you. I don't want to be touching you. Ew, ew, ew,
Yeah.
ew, ew. I mean, under normal circumstances, people move. But
Yeah. That's
now that
weird.
we're told that we have to, there are certain
Oh, yeah.
people, particularly in my community, who are like, "What?
Oh, my
It's not
gosh.
rocket surgery. What is wrong with you people?"
Rocket surgery. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I hadn't heard you before. I'm sure you had.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I use it all the time. It's brain science and rocket surgery.
Scotty from marketing recommends against all non-essential travel. Australians should immediately reconsider all non-essential domestic travel. They're going to close the borders. Oh yeah, there are shutdowns coming. Don't go to Tasmania. You will be asked to explain yourself. You cannot even travel around the country now.
In Tasmania, there have been several cases of community transmission. Dear Queensland Health, there are cases of community transmission.
Yeah.
Maybe you should broaden your testing horizons.
Oh, God. Western Australia also announced a closure, with Premier Mark McGowan saying the controls will apply to all access points, roads, air, rail, and sea, unless exempted. Arrivals from interstate will be ordered to self isolate for 14 days. Western Australia is now in a war, he said. Tasmania and the Northern Territory have already acted on their borders.
I'm practicing post-apocalyptic life skills by drawing because that calms me down.
You know what's going to be the worst?
Mm.
Like, there's places, Torres Strait, Vanuatu and the Solomon Islands, and places that have really remote, really indigenous,
Yeah.
who, if it goes there,
They're fucked.
it's not going to be good because the health system does not handle it. So,
No.
yeah, we should have closed down on the 31st of January.
Oh, yeah. And, none of this going in and out, none of those exceptions, because that just sort of proves the the lie that, it's safe.
And when you're wandering around feeling perfectly fine and totally healthy and no symptoms whatsoever, even if you're old, for 5 days, the problem with this is it only kills 6 times more than the flu.
See, I thought it was only 3 times.
It doesn't kill that much. Many people are asymptomatic. Young people are asymptomatic. I mean, young people being asymptomatic. But the fact that they're asymptomatic, if they were sick, it'd be okay.
Yeah, because you could see that.
Exactly.
But because they're asymptomatic, you can't see it. You can't tell. And I think that's part of the reason why there's been such a slow start to quarantine, like actual proper quarantining measures. People aren't taking it seriously because many people are and will be asymptomatic, or coming into autumn, they'll start having allergies or
Yep.
normal colds and flu.
Yep.
And while that can be bad enough, they're like, well, it's just like anything else. This person has a cold or flu; they were better after a few days. COVID-19 surely is the same, but no. I mean, you and I are in the age bracket that could have a mild case or
Yep.
it could have a severe case.
Yep.
Could go either way.
Yep.
Personally, I would rather not get it, so let's flatten the curve. Let's have people working from home. Let's do that.
Yep.
However, working from home is all well and good until you realise that businesses who did not have a plan
Yep.
panic bought laptops. You can't buy laptops at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They're all sold out.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
That is crazy. Of
Yep.
course you can't. Nothing's coming out of China, and they're all made there.
Well, I mean, we could build them. We could build
Yep.
laptops and PCs here, because the computer stores that already have the parts don't automatically lose them because COVID-19. However, we don't have a lot of people who have the know-how to build new laptops and PCs.
Yeah. Ah,
Or we might have the parts to put in a laptop or a PC. We just might not have the case.
yeah. I could put together a PC for you. If anyone needs a PC, don't come here. Actually, I don't have enough time. I've got kids, I've got uni, I've got work. Screw it. I'm taking my skills to the grave. Mwahaha.
You've got to be comfortable in your skill set. You've got to be comfortable in what you're doing.
I think my secret weapon, my secret skill, if you ask me what do I do best? My secret skill is figuring stuff out
Okay.
and being passably good at most things
Nice.
and following instructions.
Oh,
Figuring
following
stuff out
instructions is
and
a good
following instructions.
big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to talk through problems either just by yourself or with another person and say, okay, this is the grounds for my problem. These are the steps that I should follow, but it doesn't fall into these steps because these reasons, ... So I need to do blah instead of that. Excellent. Thank you for helping me. And
Yeah.
the other person's going, what?
Ha ha. That's
Because
funny.
I've just sort of gone through woe to go. This is
Yep.
describing the problem and then going, oh, jump 10 steps ahead. This is the answer.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy when you actually come across somebody who you're like, oh yeah, let's just Google it. And they're like, what? Or you're like, oh yeah, let's just read the instructions. And they're like, what? The instructions? I
yeah.
can't figure that out. Like, read the screen or look at the
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
and read and interpret those things, and it's clear and it's obvious. And
What do you mean you can't do that?
honestly, I see these people and I'm like,
I despair for humanity.
am I intelligent or something? I didn't realize I was, but I must be, because I can't believe that other people can't do that. And I've met
Yeah.
women, right?
Mm.
Oh no, I don't use power tools.
Take a minute, be careful, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you'll be fine.
So weird.
I know.
COVID-19. Who wants to live forever?
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Not me now.
End your life. End it now.
Frontline staff, bar workers, cafe workers, and things like that, other hospo workers, they may have been laid off or been told, look, we'll keep you on the books, but we're not going
Yeah.
to be bringing you on for any shifts in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do know that the Queensland government or Queensland Health has put out, hey, look, if you are a hospo worker, if
Yeah.
you can do a number of other things,
Yeah.
express your interest, and I have got that link for the show notes there. According to The Guardian, this was updated 19 minutes ago. It's got some information about the coronavirus updates. Scott Morrison announces
Yep.
pubs, clubs, and cinemas to close, school to stay open, registered and licensed clubs, licensed premises and hotels and entertainment venues and cinemas, casinos and nightclubs will all close. On schools, Morrison said the clear medical advice is that schools should remain open. He said he does not want children to miss a school year. So he's not thinking, a few weeks, 6 months, year.
You know what would work? If every single person did not go out, except for under extremely rare circumstances when you must go to care for a sick person. Do not go out. 2 weeks. Do not let anyone in the country. Everyone totally locked down. 2 weeks. If you get sick, go to the hospital. Do not go to Woolworths. Live on pasta and
Well, that's
rice.
the thing. People have gone out and panic bought. The thing that I want to do is just my regular shop.
Yeah, could I please? Yeah.
We tend to just buy everything that we need for the coming week or fortnight, but we're nearly out of toilet paper. So
Oh, I have a 24
it's
pack.
okay.
If you need.
It's fine because we don't eat it. We've got like 2.5 rolls.
Come and get some of my. One point, I went to the shops and there was a 24 pack. Oh, you should have told me, because I have
heaps.
Well, I mean, I don't have heaps. I have the entire 24 pack. I haven't cracked it yet. Hey, let's talk about all the good things that's come out of this.
Like our online community. I have spent a bunch of time playing board games online through Tabletop Simulator.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so they've got board games like Dominion, like Carcassonne, and other games. I mean, of course, they've got Scrabble and Backgammon and more traditional games like that. But they've got board games online. You do have to buy Tabletop Simulator, but then the games that you play in there are free. There's a similar one, Tabletopia, that also has a lot of little games in there to play. And on Discord channels, I've been able to talk to my friends while I'm playing a game with them. And that's been lovely because I've been playing a lot of board games with friends over the last couple of years because it keeps us in contact with each other. It keeps our neural pathways changing, growing, and strengthening by learning new things, doing different things. But also, my knitters are doing virtual knit nights as well.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I don't have a webcam myself, so there's no images of me crafting and talking, but still being at my computer, talking to the people that I normally spend a Tuesday night with has been quite lovely. And book club was postponed to tomorrow. Probably not going to happen though.
So they're not going digital? Oh, well, not everyone can go digital.
I'm not sure if we're going digital or because we normally meet up for dinner. And so gonna have to see what happens there.
Dinner meetings aren't going to happen. The coronavirus shutdowns are lowering greenhouse gas emissions.
I know, that's
History
wonderful.
shows. Yes. But unfortunately, history shows they'll roar back. Can you imagine? But I don't think so. Not in this case. If we do go into a global depression,
Mhm.
which some are suggesting, I don't think they're going to roar back. I think they're going to struggle
Yeah,
back
and they may not
because
get the
people
whole
are
way
out of
there.
money. Yeah. But yeah, the global emissions, people are not purchasing televisions. They're certainly not driving to the office as
Oh,
much.
definitely.
And well, I mean, I'd like to say there's no meat to be had, but we're probably going to be slaughtering a few cows in this country, considering all of the cow is off the
Yeah,
shelf.
the
There's
Coles
no cow.
near us did have plenty of meat on the shelves, but the 24-hour Woolies over at the airport on, I think it was Thursday night, empty. Nothing.
There's none in my local. I went a little bit further afield and bought some Lego. And there was a few roasts in the one further afield, but not much. No steaks or anything. The just regular cuts and stuff. I mean, I don't really buy red meat all that often, especially over the last couple of weeks. Our staple has been tofu with the occasional chicken
Yeah.
breast and lots of spinach to make up for the iron thing. So, we don't really, it doesn't really bother me, but we got a pack of chicken breasts, and that's really, with the husband away, half a chicken breast per night is enough. We don't need that much meat.
Yeah.
We don't have a slab.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to see things differently. We just have to look at things differently and not be selfish when we purchase. Say, realistically, this is what I can eat. This is what my serving sizes are going to be. This is what I need.
You know what I like about being your friend? There's such a depth of honesty, such a openness of communication, and such a independence in us all that there's no sense that anyone would be attempting to use anyone else, that anyone needs to do anyone else's emotional labor for them, and that anything given is given with no strings whatsoever, or the strings are clearly described in the, consideration of the task. It's the complete openness that exists with our friendship is so nice.
It's relaxing, isn't it?
It's so relaxing.
You don't have to put thought into it because there's no need. It's like, I don't want to take advantage of you because I want to keep you as a friend. You don't want to take advantage of me because you want to keep me as a friend. And
because I genuinely like you.
Well, that's why we're friends, you see. We like each other.
Let's finish.
Yes. So visit us on Facebook at Cauldron of All Things. On Twitter at Cauldron of.
It's the worst Twitter handle
It's
ever.
fantastic. We're on Patreon at Cauldron of All Things, or you can download us directly through Libsyn. We are Cauldron of All Things there as well. We also have an email if you would like to send us any topic suggestions. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, please contact us, cauldronofallthings@gmail.com.